Lagging. Lagging. See if I get rid of some of this stuff, if this will work. All right. Hey guys, AJ Town here, live with the T-Storm Chasers with Riley on board with us here. We're going to try doing this one and seeing what we can do. I'm trying to get my audio to make sure that it works before I jump into this. All right. Hey guys, AJ Town here, live with. All right, I got my audio. Let's see if Riley, say hi, Riley. Try doing this one and
hello, everybody. Hello.
All right, we'll make sure that your audio works real quick, and then we'll jump into it here. All right, I got my audio. Let's see if Riley say hi, Riley. Hello, everybody. All right, we got audio. We're good. We're good, guys. Sorry about this. I got something up on the screen that I shouldn't have up yet. So give me just a second to get rid of that. Riley's one of our chasers that has been out with us a couple times, and he's gonna be behind the scene type guy that's going to kind of reiterate some things with us, kind of talk about the severe weather that we're going to be looking at that's going to be moving through the area tomorrow for the South Dakota area, and then we're also looking out west out east. As far as things moving through the eastern portions of that area. We do see one comment awfully blurry. Go back out and come back in. Sometimes that does fix the issue of having that come back and coming back in. So definitely exit out of the stream, come back in. I'm looking on my phone, and I got a good quality picture, and I am not even on local internet or anything. I'm using my cell service. So anyways, as we jump into some severe weather risk and what we are looking at, we'll definitely break things down. Give us about a half hour. Stay with us, folks. We're going to really jump into this and kind of let you guys know what's going on. Riley will be doing your severe weather coverage when he can from the office and when we're out chasing. So Riley knows what he's talking about. We have some faith in him. We'll see how much faith he'll do. Yeah, and show you guys up here. So as we're going to start the model here, we're going to start it at Thursday at 09 Zulu. So that's going to be about 4 o'clock in the morning. We do start to see that low pressure system that comes across the Rockies there. That's really going to start impacting the area and definitely bring us some precipitation coming through as we watch that low pressure system come into Friday at 00 Zulu. So that's going to be right about that 7 o'clock time frame. We really start to see things ramp up there between that 7 and 12 o'clock hour. We really start to see some of that heavier stuff push through. You can see right through there is where we are looking at. Don't worry, folks. We are doing the national map first, and then we'll zoom in and give you a closer idea, and Riley will break some of this down too as far as what we're seeing with the severe weather risk threat. Now, we are definitely seeing some severe weather risk. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center has put out some issued some warnings as well. Not warnings, but precautionary measures. There you go. I think that's the word that we're going to be looking at, is some precautionary measures for this area, and then areas to the east, and we'll jump into that. Riley will dive into that here with you guys too. We'll see this snow system really start to show its face about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and as we are seeing that system really start to ramp up and progress, we are seeing the threat of seeing some substantial amount of snow. Good news is, though, folks, for the Sioux Falls area, we're not looking at a substantial amount of snow. It's going to be more of the areas to the west of the Sioux Falls area and to the north. That'll quickly move out of the area by Saturday and then off to the east. Then as we do continue to watch and progress here, we are going to be seeing another system come into the area Tuesday into Wednesday of next week as well. which is going to bring, unfortunately, folks, some rain, some ice, and some another snow system as well that we are watching. Now, take this with kind of a grain of salt because we are about 168 hours out with this system as it does progress through the area and does come into play. You can see just how much of a moisture-filled system that is with how long that progresses. Good news is, though, as we go through the rest of the week there, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we aren't looking at another snow system or any precipitation for the area towards that Easter weekend. I believe that is that Easter weekend there is what we are looking at. Much of the country is not looking at hardly anything come that Easter weekend. As we take a quick look here, back home, we'll start things off on Friday. Let's do 18 Zulus, what we're going to start with on Thursday. Again, we're going to see the system come into play Thursday into Friday. That's when that severe weather risk will be there, is that Thursday into Friday that we are watching here. That system will, again, out west, we expect to see more snow accumulation than what we do rain. But now for the eastern portions, we expect to see more rain than snow, which is going to bring us a concern for seeing some ice accumulation as well as we do continue to watch that system play and out of the area there by Friday night into Saturday morning. Next system again starts to show itself there Tuesday morning, starts to really move into the area Tuesday afternoon. We'll see some rain showers for the Sioux Falls area and eastern portions of South Dakota, southeastern South Dakota. And then we are looking at western portions of South Dakota getting another round of substantial amount of snow. As of right now, the model, this European model, is suggesting it more of a snow system than as anything else. And then again, as we go into Easter weekend there, that Good Friday and Saturday there, we're not looking much of anything as well. Now, this is going to be Riley's little expert teach here, is kind of what he's going to discuss with us and kind of follow with us here. So we'll start this here. We'll give Riley a running start and kind of start this at Friday at 00 Zulu, which is going to be about 7 o'clock. So what are we watching here, Riley?
Yeah. Before we get into that, there was a couple of chats here. One said so tired of the snow. The other one said Rapid City area getting snow ? So Rapid City area, yes. Looks like there is some potential for snow. Looks like the main event, though, is going to be likely east of Rapid City. However, the Black Hills could get a little more. But basically, probably around that 2-inch mark. There could be 2 to 4 around the Rapid City area. Obviously, like I said, Black Hills area would get a little more. But a lot of that would be towards Pierre. That would be the highest amounts. So, but yeah, you can go ahead and roll it. So yeah, basically Thursday night is when the event is supposed to start. Again, with that thunderstorm potential, basically coming out of Nebraska. It'll start in northeast Nebraska, move its way up into southeastern South Dakota, and also northwest Iowa. And as you can see there on the screen, that is basically the energy available for thunderstorm potential tomorrow night. Like I said, kickoff probably around 7 o'clock and after, like AJ mentioned earlier. And then it'll progress to the east. And then as we get towards Friday is the snow event. Sioux Falls area, maybe a couple of inches. But it's looking like it's more towards, again, Aberdeen, Huron, Pierre is going to be the best chances of snow. And then what he has outlined right there, that is Friday. There is a big time severe weather potential in Iowa, eastern Iowa, into Illinois and Missouri. That is for Friday. And that is 00Z is what our time measurement is for this model. So basically, again, what that shows is the basically juice for thunderstorms and thunderstorm potential and severe weather. And when you get that red black, there's some energy there. So
Right. So
Yeah.
we do see that that real thick energy here. Let me kind of change my colors here, because if we do that, we might be able to see it better. Right there is where we're seeing that strongest potential of severe weather. I know this is going to affect some of you because you do have that family and friends that are in eastern portions of Iowa. Even some I know, I personally know of people that have family in Wisconsin. I have friends in Illinois that watch as well. So we are definitely seeing that strong potential of seeing some severe weather. As we want to jump into here, that ice accumulation, as we did mention, coming into Saturday there. We are looking at that ice accumulation coming into Saturday. I'm going to say it's going to be about that glazing to less than a quarter of an inch. I'm not confident that we're going to see a substantial icing area. We're going to see that as more of a rain event than anything. It's going to be that rain, and then it's going to come in the form of snow. So what are we looking at for snow totals? Where did my mouse go? I lost my mouse.
Yeah, so according to according to the NWS, they're showing 4 to 8 in the areas with snow potential. Basically, northeastern South Dakota, central South Dakota. Basically, areas northwest of Sioux Falls. And there's already a winter storm watch that has been issued for that for Friday.
We'll jump over to that. There you go. Winter storm watch is in effect for that area there. To the north and to the west of the Sioux Falls area will not impact the Sioux Falls area. Our confidence is not high that the Sioux Falls area is going to see a substantial snow or anything with that.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, there could be a winter weather advisory for Sioux Falls maybe Friday afternoon, something along those lines. And that's worst case scenario.
One thing we're going to jump into here is going to be that snow totals. As I did mention there, Friday is what we're looking at, the main system. I personally think that the European model really overdoes it here, where we're going to see 2 feet of snow for central portions of South Dakota. I think that area there is going to see it more of a moisture field, more possibility of some of that rain pushing through. And that's where that model is picking it up as moisture. It's going to pick that up as more of a moisture, saying, hey, it's going to be snow, but in reality, it's just going to be that moisture-filled air that's going to be dropping some things as well, rain. Back home, 2 to 3 inches is what we're looking at according to the European model. I favoritize the European model for the snow totals. I don't know about Riley there, but I personally like the European model because it's been more accurate. We've seen more consistency and everything with that. That's why we do have, again, as Riley did mention, that winter storm watch that is in effect for the area there. I don't suspect our area would be under that winter storm watch. I think it'll stay mostly to the west of us there. So what are we?
I agree.
Let's take a quick look here. As we were mentioning, actually, let me jump back over here. What criterias do we need to be able to meet a severe thunderstorm? Because I know some of you are like, what are we going to see come through the area and stuff. This is put out by the National Weather Service. This isn't something that we created or done. We do see that severe thunderstorm criteria, 1 inch in hail, 58 miles or stronger, tornadoes is going to be your severe thunderstorm criteria to see that severe thunderstorm warning. Now, as we are going to discuss here shortly, understanding what we're going to be talking about here in just about 30 seconds is the Storm Prediction Center puts out these risks, and what does it mean? When does it mean it? And, things like that. So we're actually, the Sioux Falls area is actually under a number 1 for tomorrow, and we'll jump into that here momentarily. But Sioux Falls area is actually under a number 1 for tomorrow. And then areas to the east on Friday is going to be actually in the number 3 category, 3 out of 5 category for seeing that as well. And everything that I've seen as far as eastern, out east, further east, is going to be more of the. I would say it would not surprise me to see a 4 issued for that area as well. Northern portions of that area as well would not surprise me. So what are we talking about, folks? Well, here we go. We're going to dive into this. Riley, go ahead and take it over.
Yep. So tomorrow, the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma, has issued a marginal risk for severe weather for tomorrow evening for northeast Nebraska, southeastern South Dakota, parts of northwest Iowa, and southwest Minnesota. And the main risk is hail. We're not looking at a tornado event, not looking at a real damaging wind event. This is strictly large hail possible up to a quarter. And so that's what we have on the table for tomorrow night as those storms begin in Nebraska and work their way northeast into southeastern South Dakota towards Sioux Falls area.
And I just threw a map up there of that Storm Prediction Center marginal risk there. So those of you that can see the map a little better there, the darker area does include the Brookings, Mitchell, Sioux Falls, Yankton area, and down a little further south there into northeastern Nebraska, extreme northwestern Iowa, and southwest Minnesota. Now, we have something that is concerning coming up here is going to be Friday. Riley, you want to kind of discuss this too?
Yep. Yeah. So the Friday event is the main event out of this system, and basically it is going to be, thankfully, not for our area, at least at this point. That could always change, obviously, as the folks down in Norman, Oklahoma, kind of make their adjustments. Things could change last minute, so that's why you want to be aware of everything that goes on, weather aware. But as of right now, what we have on the table on Friday is severe weather, a higher end event, definitely a lot more extreme than tomorrow's risk. And this is a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk. Basically in central and eastern Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, and anywhere around those areas. It basically clips northwestern Iowa. They're part of the marginal risk. If you're in Spencer, Iowa, Lake Okoboji areas, you are in the marginal risk as of right now. And basically for that area in particular, just some hail would be the highest risk there. But basically areas in that enhanced risk and that orange shaded area is where all risks are possible. Tornadoes, damaging winds, large hail, and even a slight flooding threat. Also want to mention there is a little bit of a low end flooding threat in the Sioux Falls area that I kind of wanted to mention too, where basically anywhere in those thunderstorms around the Sioux Falls area, you could have up to 1 inch per hour. That has been discussed by the NWS and other outlets as well. So just wanted to throw that in there too. But yeah, Friday is the main event. Luckily, us here in Sioux Falls don't have to really worry about that. What we would have to worry about again would be a marginal flooding threat as well as some snow potential up to a couple inches.
Right. And the other thing is too, folks, we're just trying to make you weather aware, simply because we know you guys have friends and family that live in eastern portions of Iowa, and this is going to be a very dangerous event that we're going to see kind of unfold for this time of year. This is what we're expecting to see, and everything is kind of more of a system that we're going to have come in like June or July. This isn't something that we've really seen come in March as far as over in Iowa and northern Illinois and Wisconsin area there.
Yeah, it's pretty rare. I mean, but that December 15th event kind of changed everything, where there was a moderate risk in northwest Iowa. So really anything can happen, just for any time of year, anytime. But yeah, March, you don't typically see that as a severe weather month, but or at least around here, but it can and occasionally does happen. So, it's not extremely uncommon, but it's definitely fairly rare for this area.
So let's take this hour by hour, kind of look what we're looking at and see what we're looking at. We'll jump here and we'll start things at, let's go tomorrow. What we're looking at here, we'll start about that lunch hour. We'll start about 12:30 here. As we are putting the map into motion here, watch this Nebraska area here. That's where we're going to start seeing some of these pop-up showers start to come in about that 9:30. There it is. About that 1 o'clock time frame is what the HRRR model run shows. Now the HRRR...
Is there any way you can zoom in on that? I'd say it might be a little better to zoom in for that area.
Yep. There. How's that look? All right, perfect. So as we do start to see these showers really start to pop up now, I think the HRRR is kind of off on its timing. It's going to be more of around that 9 o'clock hour is kind of what we're looking at. But as we put things into motion here, we do see that it's just really is in that marginal area that we did have, and that risk of seeing some of that severe weather is right through that marginal risk area there. Come into Thursday into Friday night or Friday morning there is what we're seeing with that. That'll quickly push its way off to the east and to the northeast, and then as we do... No, what just happened here? My slide lost. I lost my... Joys of live, right? Oh, it's downloading a new update. That's why.
Oh, yeah.
So, one fun thing about doing lives is we get live data sometimes, and that's what's happening right now. Is it's pushing a live update on our model run here. So then we're going to be able to bring you guys the latest information. As that is going, let's jump back to our pivotal. Our pivotal is going to be our GFS and our NOM. So when we do
for those of you at home that aren't aware of what that is, it's basically just a different model that we use. And basically the NAM is a type of model on the website.
And we do like to look at all the models and kind of discuss them with you guys. So then you're kind of looking like, okay, this isn't completely true, or this is what this is going to happen, or things like that. The GFS model is one of the ones that go the furthest out. They go actually 372 hours out. I don't pay that close of attention past that like 150 hour mark because it's weather. Things change. So, but we'll kind of look at the national map here as that low pressure system does come across the area. That's what we're watching for when those storms are going to fire, is right in front of that low pressure system, and that's what's going to really fuel this system here coming through on the backside as well. There you can see now we're about 21 Zulu coming in on Friday, and you can see that low pressure system's moving into Iowa there, and that's where our concern is going to be, seeing that severe threat. You can see down in Illinois, Missouri, down in further south there, you can see that threat there. But this is right through here is where our concern is coming into Friday night, is what we are looking at, seeing some of that severe weather threat. You can see Friday night, that system does continue to wrap around, bringing us the best chance of seeing that heavier snow totals pushing through. Good news is, again, for the Sioux Falls area and stuff, it does keep it pushed a little northward there as well. So, and then as we go into the next week, even the GFS is picking up on that next storm system as well that we did talk about on Tuesday into Wednesday. The GFS is also putting it through the same areas that the European model is. So that is one unfortunate/fortunate thing. I say unfortunate because of we are looking at another snow system. But I say fortunate because the models are in agreement, which means the event is more likely to happen with that as well. Again, as we go into then Easter weekend, we're not looking for much of anything. The GFS is kind of bringing the system up northeastward. I'm not confident on that one. Again, this is 246 hours out, so we're definitely taking it with a grain of salt. Saturday into Sunday. The European model's not picking up anything like this as well. Unfortunately, the NAM doesn't go far enough out to pick up anything. But again, the GFS is hinting on a little system, something we'll watch a little closer once things come into play. But then as we get into the middle part of April there, it's quite full of moisture coming into the middle part of April as well. Let's take a closer look back home here. As this loads here, give me just a quick brief second. As we take a closer look back home here and kind of look at things play into factors here, we do see the system start to come in on Thursday evening is what we are looking at. That system start to ramp up there. You can see about that 00 Zulu. So that's about that 7 o'clock. That's where that marginal risk area is that we are keeping that close eye on for some of that severe weather. So we go that 03 Zulu. We are watching, again, that little bit of that 03 Zulu. Again, as Riley mentioned, and we'll mention here in just a minute or two, is the severe threat is going to be that hail. We're not looking at much more than that. And then as we go into into Friday, we're watching that backside of that system that is building another snow system. We do got to keep a close eye here on Friday night. The GFS is saying it is a rain and snow mix system, so something we're going to have to watch fairly closely with that as well. And then again, the GFS is also hinting on that next storm system as well, coming into the area Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. Now, this is Riley's favorite portion of the episode, and this is where we get to talk about some severe weather. So as I will put this into play, Riley can kind of discuss this, and you holler at me as I'm trying to get something else done for the next slide.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably a good time to get a weather radio if you're able to. Just, it's just kind of that time of the year. Again, started a little early. I know last year around this time we had a little bit of severe weather potential around this time last year. So maybe a little bit similar again this year. But it'll be interesting to see what happens this spring. But either way, yeah, as he goes ahead and shows this model run here, basically, again, what we're looking at, the southeast South Dakota, basically after 7 p.m. tomorrow. So he goes ahead and plays that out. This model run shows a little later. Notice about this one's at 9 o'clock p.m. and it's showing storms in northeastern Nebraska. I think, I would say the storms probably will get going a little earlier than that, but as of now, that is what this model run is showing.
Yeah. So as Riley did mention there too, we do have, as it does progress its way northeastward, we do have that chance. Let me back up just one slide here. There we go. We're about a 3 out of 46, but I've never seen a 46 be issued as far as a model run for severity. So 3 is kind of a decent severity, but that is, you can see right there about that Sioux City area is what that notch is saying. We'll take a quick look at the NOM, and then we're going to take one quick look at the HRRR, look at your precipitation outlook, and then we're going to jump out of here and get out of your guys' hair. So we'll fire the NOM up here about Thursday, about that lunch hour is what we are looking at there. As we go about that 21 Zulu, 00 Zulu, we start to see things form. That's going to be about that 7 o'clock time frame, which is kind of what Riley's been talking about, is right between that 7 to 9 o'clock time frame. As we go into the next slide here about that 3 Zulu, that's going to be right about that 11 o'clock time frame. We do start seeing some cells pop up and stuff over through the overnight hour. Now, the NOM doesn't really blow things up like what we're kind of looking at and seeing on other model runs as far as the storm severity and stuff with this as well. But it does definitely bring the snow system pushing through. But as you can see there on the you guys can't see. Give me just a second here to get that moved over. There you go. There, as you guys can see, that does form into a real big supercell. About Friday night is what we are looking at here coming into play with the NOM. 21Z is when things start to fire. So 21 minus 5, that's about that 4 o'clock time frame is what we're seeing. And that's in that central portions of Iowa there that we had that
I would
storm.
say the storm chasing community I've seen they are particularly concerned about central and eastern Iowa on Friday because it's closest to the surface low on Friday. Out of the whole area that's marked under the gun for severe weather, it looks like Iowa is going to be the target zone for a lot of chasers on Friday for tornadic potential.
Good news is a lot of this is, as you can see up on the screen right now, is that's right within that severity risk, that 3 out of 5 that Riley and I were discussing earlier. Good news is a lot of this is to the east of the I-35 corridor. So we don't really expect this to impact the Sioux Falls area, have much effect on it, except for, as you can see there, the effect is going to be that snow that's going to be pushing through the area on the backside of this. So eastern portions of Iowa is going to be getting severe weather. Western portions of Iowa is going to be getting some snow at the same time. Even according to the NOM and everything, that'll quickly push off to the east and out of the area here by, again, Friday night, Saturday morning. One thing we want to take a quick look at, too, is going to be your latest HRRR model run. Finally got that to load. So as we do put things into play here, we're going to start things off about 7 p.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow evening. As we put it into motion there, you can see right just north of Grand Island, about 8 o'clock there, that's where we're starting to see that severe cells starting to pop up there. That is pushing in a northeasterly direction and really going to move into the South Dakota area, basically our coverage area by that 9, 10 o'clock time frame, which is kind of what Riley's been talking about, is that severe weather probability pushing through. As we do push into the next slide there, that's going to be about your 10:30 time frame. You can see it's really impacting Union County, Clay County, Yankton County, and extreme northeastern Nebraska there as well. That'll continue to progress into the overnight hours, so we do expect to see some of the severe threat last into the overnight hours. Don't worry, folks, we will have you covered into the overnight hours as this does continue to progress its way northeastward. We do have that slight chance of seeing some of it changing over to ice or mixed precipitation as that does continue to progress through the area into the morning time. So just maybe get prepared to give yourself a little bit of an extra time coming into the morning commute for Friday. Then as you can see, as we go through the day on Friday there, we do have a lot of mixed precipitation probability, ice accumulation pushing through as well. You do see those heavier bands of snow pushing through. That's why we have that winter storm watch out. Would not surprise us to have that upgraded to a winter storm warning or even a blizzard warning for a lot of that area because of the heavier snowfall and winds that we'll be picking up with this as well. Again, I don't suspect Sioux Falls area will be under much as far as a winter weather Like Riley mentioned, probably a winter weather advisory. I would agree with that. But I would not say a winter storm warning or blizzard warning or anything like that. Definitely be prepared for some interstate closures and stuff as the system progresses into Friday night, as we do start to see that really move out of the area by about that 8-9 o'clock time frame. But with the winds behind it is going to be one concern with it as well. Got any 2 cents on that, Riley, or are you good?
Yeah, that sounds pretty much how it's gonna be. I agree.
So looking at the Storm Prediction Center out of Norman, Oklahoma, we are looking at leaning towards the above normal for this time of year for precipitation outlook for days 8 through 14, which is going to be your April 6th to April 12th. This was issued as of today with them. And then as we go into the temperature outlook, unfortunately, folks, we're not looking at a huge warm-up. Thanks to Riley for doing those 7-day forecasts, which, hey, we forgot to mention those. You know, I downloaded it, and I even did upload it here. Give me a second to find it here on the slide.
While you go ahead and load that, up, my friend made a really good point. He just told me he's watching the stream, and he told me that he thinks one interesting thing is that if it's more severe, like on Friday, basically in central and eastern Iowa, if the severity of that severe weather happens where you get, a moderate risk of severe weather and then higher end severe weather, like really bad supercell storms, that could potentially and sometimes has a tendency to basically take some moisture out of the western side, basically what we would get. And that is possible if the severity of the severe weather ramps up more in Iowa.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good point.
That is a great point there too that was made. Yeah, one thing to note with that is we are going to be looking at how strong these cells are is going to depend on how much energy is going to be taken out of the atmosphere as well. Even as they come through southeast South Dakota and northeast Nebraska there into the overnight, that's going to play a factor too as well. How much heating and stuff as well. One thing, Riley does an awesome job of posting the 7-day forecast, and I just want to say it on stream. Thank you. We greatly appreciate it. And I know there's a lot of our followers that greatly appreciate it. A lot of great feedback on the 7-day outlook that we're now starting to post. So what's normal for this time of year? It's going to be right around that 58 to 60 degree mark. And that's why, we're going to be looking at below average for this time of year. Unfortunately, looking at Riley's 7-day forecast, we're not looking at much of a warm-up, but we are looking finally to be out of the freezing mark, except for the overnight hours, which is typical.
It's still definitely a lot warmer than where we've been the last several months. Basically, we have not hit 50 yet in Sioux Falls this year. So I believe the last time we hit 50 was back in November. So it's, we should get to at least 50 tomorrow in Sioux Falls. 55 would be a solid bet. We'll see. I would say anywhere from 50 to 55 tomorrow in Sioux Falls. And then obviously with that rain/snow coming in Friday, that's going to kind of lower the temps a little bit. But then the weekend will warm up a little more, especially on Sunday, where it could easily reach 55. I think it's very possible. And then it'll be steady early next week, but then like we mentioned earlier, another system coming in middle of next week, and then after that, long range temp outlook as he showed a little earlier, back to below average temps, and it's going to be back to basically the 30s and 40s again late next week. Basically Easter weekend. It sounds like it's going to be pretty cool. So enjoy the nice temps that we're going to have tomorrow as well as Sunday. Maybe even Monday will probably be a nice day as well. So just enjoy those days.
Yep, get out, enjoy them, get your yard work done. You know, I still have Christmas decorations sitting in my yard that I got to get cleaned up. So, definitely get out and enjoy the warmer weather with these temps that are going to be moving through the area. Like I mentioned, you know, Riley does an awesome job. He's going to keep doing these 7-day outlooks for us and everything and keep those coming. You know, further south you go, though, and I do mean not too much further than, you know, Highway 18. You know, if you go further south than that, you're going to start seeing some warmer temps, you know, down in Vermilion and Sioux City and Elk Point area. You'll definitely see warmer temps than what this is posted here.
There's some models pushing 70, Yankton, Sioux City areas, basically Sunday. So, yeah, good point.
So, all right, folks. Well, thank you for joining us this late at night. Thanks for sticking around, and thanks for following us. And be sure to continue to follow us. And Riley, and we'll continue doing the 7-day outlook for you guys. And I'll continue to bring you weather updates. And Riley will join me when he can. And Braden will also join us when he can. He was unfortunately not able to join us tonight, but we definitely can get some weather chat going, and that's what our goal is and what we're going to be changing here. So thanks, guys, for joining us. Have a great night. Thanks, Riley.